Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Harmony Gardening. Today, we're going to do a garden tour, but it is our 1-year anniversary. I want to thank everyone who's watching for sticking with us for a year, and I cannot wait to see what the next year brings. I am so excited. We're almost to our 500 subscriber mark. We've got almost 200 videos on the channel, if you can believe that. And so we're going to start off our garden tour here behind the house with my raised bed. And you can see that my garden here, where I've got the beets and the radishes and the one little lonely carrot, is doing really good. This is what we reset for fall, and it looks really, really good. And the peppers are doing well. We've taken out the sunflowers that were here because the landries, the squirrels, were totally decimating them. But we've still got some peppers left in here, and we've picked a whole bunch of them. We want to let a few more of them get a little bit larger, and then we'll be using those soon. Look at the goji berry this year. This is amazing. I can tell that it's getting a little bit of powdery mildew. It's about towards the end of the season, but it's done its job. It has produced a ton of goji berries that we will be drying here really soon. And the sweet potatoes are starting to turn yellow. And this one is actually even flowering, which I didn't know that they flowered that pretty. I almost want them for the flowers more than the sweet potatoes. And our two other grow bags did not do well this season because a caterpillar came and totally ate all of our bok choy. So there went our fall garden of bok choy. But the sweet potatoes are fine. And as soon as they die back completely, I will be harvesting them and curing them. And I will do a video on how to take care of those. Look at the dahlias. Look how pretty they are. That's such a beautiful red color. And then these ones over here are a little bit different of a red color. They're not quite as bright, but they are beautiful. I'm really happy with this. This has gotten completely overgrown, and I'm going to do a little bit of a different design next year where the dahlias are all in the back because I wasn't expecting to get this tall because they actually weren't supposed to. They did really good this year. Now, if we turn around and look here at the melon garden, you'll notice a huge change. We just actually finished filming the video for Friday where we completely took everything out and cleaned it up, and I showed you how to do that. But now this is ready for all of the plants that actually do well in fall, like our Swiss chard over there. It is doing really good. And there's the other Swiss chard, and we got a couple peppers in there, and our celery is ready to harvest. They all did fantastic over here. So I will be growing all of these beautiful celery again next year. This garden also looks very, very different too, because we had a huge issue with powdery mildew this fall because we got so much rain, and it took us about like a month to finally get the grass mowed because it was just too wet out here every time we had an opportunity to come out here and mow it. But we got it all mowed for the garden tour today because we had some nice sunshine. But I went ahead and cut off all the leaves that had powdery mildew on them, and I tied it back up really tight to the stakes, and I'm hoping that we do have some flowers left in some of them, that we will still get some zucchini on these. I'm hoping. But if we don't, it's okay. We actually have a lot of them in the house. And our carrot, I harvested a bunch of the seed heads today, so I'm going to be saving those for next year because this was a carrot that came up from the year before, and I figure if it can come up in this area, in this garden, this will be a nice hardy carrot for our area. I also took out all of the large fennel that was here. All the sunflowers are gone. Oh, my pride and joy. Look at this. Look at that dahlia. You know I like dahlias and nasturtiums. They're all doing really good this year. But this one is as tall as me. So I am really, really happy because last year it was probably about half the size. So I'm really excited that this one did so well. Now you can kind of get a really good view of it considering it was all intermingled with the sunflower that was here. And look at the tomatoes. We have mostly cherry tomatoes growing because that's what grows really well here, and you could still make them into salsa or whatever else you want to do with them. And our tomatillos too. Oh, yeah, look at that. There's no squeeze in that one. That one's almost ready. They do dry out a little bit and pop open when they're completely ready. And this was our volunteer. Like, look at this one. This one's getting papery. See how it feels kind of, well, you can't feel this. This feels papery. This one feels more like the leaves do. So once they get all papery, that means they're ready. But that was our volunteer tomatillo. And this one on the other side over here is the one that I planted. And you can see that it is a lot larger. And we actually had to tie it to the stakes for the zucchinis. And next year, Donnie is going to be showing all of you how to make your own really heavy duty tomato cages. Actually, it would be a tomatillo cage and a huckleberry cage. They're going to be much larger because these little, well, actually that's a larger tomato cage. They just don't work. These get way too heavy. We already had a couple of branches break off. Now we'll move on back a little bit further. And our kale is doing really well, and so is our collard greens. They love this time of the year. It has gotten so cold here at night, and I don't think we're gonna get any more really super warm weather because I think our season is done. Today is the first day of fall as well. So this is absolutely beautiful. And I'm gonna be resetting this bed next year. The only thing I will not be taking out is we have some asparagus at the end and the kale. This will be staying next year, but we are going to be putting a lot of new compost in here and trying to do something a little bit different next year with this bed. Here is, well, there's Lola. There's the Lola kitty. Lola kitty kitty. We had socks out here earlier. Now it's Lola's turn to be outside. Hi. Meow. You want to play? Yep, she wants to play. You'll notice a huge change in this. All of our pumpkin and all of our spaghetti squash have been harvested. Like I said about the powdery mildew issue. Yeah, they took them out. And I was actually surprised because we've never had that issue here before. They get a little bit of powdery mildew, the leaves turn yellow, but I usually get them well into October. But we had to go ahead and take it out because I really didn't want this to spread throughout my whole entire garden. But the nasturtiums are very lovely. They're doing well. And we've got this whole area cleaned up back here. Looks really nice. And I also had to take out all of the melons that were in here and the cucumbers. And we got a good harvest off of that. I'll actually show you what we took out of the garden today on the deck. So all of this is cleaned up. But we left the tomatoes because the tomatoes are still doing really, really well. And like the beefsteaks that I have in the back are getting nice and big, and we have a lot of tomatoes. I think I'm actually going to have enough this year that I can preserve them, and I love to save the tomatoes through the winter time. Let's move on to the Japanese garden where our very large spiders are living. I think we have, oh, there's one. Donnie, show one of the large spiders we have up here. Okay, I am going to put my hand kind of next to it, so you can see a nice size comparison. Now we had at one point in this area probably about 5 of these spiders in here. Is the other one under there? Oh yeah. Okay. She's a lot larger than the other one. And Aragog is what Donnie and the spider that's over by the sunflower is still under the sunflower. And I think it only comes out at night. And we do have another one in there. I'm not walking in there. I'm still good with not being around those big spiders. And their webs go all over. We have to be careful when we come out in the morning because like you can't see it, but there is a web that goes all the way across here, and then they will go all the way across to the pear tree over here, and it is a mess. But they're eating the bad bugs. They can stay, along with the praying mantis, which hopefully you watched that short video that we have in the garden. They're doing a pretty good job. I haven't seen as many grasshoppers lately. Now is a great time for this garden because all of my herbs are ready to be harvested. And I will be doing a video on what I'm going to be doing with the herbs here pretty soon because we definitely need to harvest them and save them for winter time. And this goji berry grew a lot this year and even has a few goji berries on it. And of course the clematis looks pretty sad this time of the year, but the goji berry is intermingled with that and looks good. And our dwarf weeping crab apple is starting to lose some of its leaves. They're starting to turn. And we only have a few crab apples actually on it, which is okay. That's fine. We definitely have years like that where we don't get as much as we want, but that's all right. And we don't even need to look at the rest of the garden because it doesn't really look that great over there. That's where we're going to be putting in the pond next year. Over here, we have our comfrey, and it's all gone to seed. And I like to let the seeds just go ahead and fall down. That way we get more comfrey. I want to have a plan for this area to kind of like fill us all up with comfrey, because that way I can start harvesting it more and I can start using it for like compost tea. That would be really good. And here is our raspberry. And we have a few raspberries on here. Sebastian and I and Donnie have been eating them, so there's not that many. And it's still working really good. Love this area, so pretty. Oh my goodness, look at the coleus. I told Donnie we have got to figure out how we can get this into the house. I have never had coleus look this good before, and there's such a variety in this planter. I have to bring it in the house. I'm just gonna have to figure out some sort of saucer to put in it and where I'm actually gonna put it in the house, because we're remodeling the kitchen right now. So it's a bit of a mess in the house with the remodel, and I'm not exactly sure where we're gonna put it, but you know what? I'm gonna figure out a way to put it somewhere. So this part of the yard kind of starts to look a little bit more barren, except for the grape hyacinths. Look at this. Last time we were kind of in this area, they were completely died back, but they absolutely love the cold weather and they are growing great. So this whole entire garden right now almost looks like it does in springtime, other than they are not flowering right now. And if we have a mild winter, this stays pretty green out here. I'm surprised. Now this is pretty much the same, except for we went ahead and we got our new plants planted. Like I have the hosta planted here. And then on the other side, I still need to trim them up a little bit. I still need to do some more gardening, pruning, and cleaning up out here. But I have the 2 irises. And, oh, yes, the decorative grass. I was like, what else did we have out here? Oh, careful, Bob. I almost backed into the spider in this tree. But we have some decorative grass there too. And that, oh, deck. I gotta show you the deck. I was gonna say that almost concludes our garden tour, but we gotta go look at the deck. I wanted to show you the harvest that we got. So, look at this. You can see that we have some large spaghetti squash. There's some of the kale we harvested. There are pumpkins and a watermelon. That's the largest watermelon we got. I saved some of the sunflower seeds. These are the carrots. We got some more cucumbers, a zucchini, the branch that broke off the tomatillos. And look at this. I gotta pick this one up and show you. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I think this is one of the largest spaghetti squashes I've ever seen. And this one is good too. I thought that one was large. That one's really large. And then we got the rest of the Kajari melons and the richer sweets and the mangoes. And Sebastian accidentally dropped the other the other watermelon, but I can break it open and kind of give you a look inside. I grew these last year and they are really good. This one is still edible. Even though it's pretty small, we're still going to eat that because it will be really good. And now we'll step up on the deck. Oh, and our sunflower steaks. Check out Friday's video where I explain what these are going to be used for. Now this looks really good. Look at the horseradish. So as soon as that dies back for the wintertime, I'm going to dig it up. The mint has almost completely taken over this year. The root weevils are not, oh, and that was a spider web. The root weevils are not eating it, and it smells so good. And I thought I put pansies in here. I guess it was petunias, because now they came up, and I've got a whole bunch of petunias in here. So those look good. This area, other than like, I think maybe this planter and the snapdragons down there, everything else is starting to die back. It's that time of the year. You know, our flowers don't look that great up on the deck. And then our basil looks good. I'm going to harvest that here real soon. We're going to be making some pesto. And these are looking a little sad. My houseplants, I definitely have to find a spot back inside the house for them, because it is getting down into the 50s and getting down to the low 50s. they are not going to make it much longer outside. I need to bring them inside. So that pretty much concludes our garden tour. I want to thank all of you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. So thanks everyone for watching our gardening tour and subscribing to our channel and sticking with us for this year. Like I said before, I can't wait to see what next year brings. There's going to be more changes and more projects to the garden. So from all of us, Kristen,
Donnie,
and Sebastian,
we want to thank you and
happy gardening!